Hello.
Hi.
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 Hi, Cynthia.
Hi. Move it down a little bit. There. Hi.
Barbara in the frame here.
There you go.
He's 8 inches taller than I am. So it's like
Either need different height chairs or a booster seat or something.
booster seat. Now there you go. I am already on a pillow.
Oh dear. Well, it's good to see the three of you.
Same to you.
That's an interesting piece of artwork behind you, Barbara and Larry. Is that yours? Is that just in the place where you're staying? Okay.
Yeah, it's at the place we're staying, and it's that like Mexican metal work.
Oh.
It's
Hanging on the chimney of the fireplace.
birds in a tree. 2 circles.
Nice.
You
Mhm.
know. It is a nice piece. They have in the bathroom, they've got 4 like plates or chargers, I guess you'd call them, that have a kind of a Chinese feel to them, which I like.
Mhm. Very nice.
So is it still so cold?
It is so cold. We are in a deep freeze and getting all the, the pings and the warnings of it's going to be, dangerous wind chills, and here are the warming centers, and yeah.
How low
Yeah.
the wind chill? Oh, there's your current temp, 3 degrees. So how low is the wind chill
Feels
going?
like 9, so it's cold. It's very cold.
Yeah, Cook County. So Ryan and I, we live in Cook County, just inside of it, but we're in Cook County, and they sent out a message this morning saying wind chills as low as -25 sometime in the next 24 hours here. So,
I saw that I get some sort of Crystal Lake Ferry update, and yeah, it said that. So, and I check our furnace from here via a little app, so I decided maybe I should kick it up a little bit.
yeah, help it keep up.
Be able to recover from minus whatever. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I feel bad about doing this, but
oh, don't do it.
Oh,
We have to. Oh no.
Rub it in.
I did feel bad about doing, but not bad enough.
Enjoy it.
I do. I remember all the years of digging out the cars and spending 2 hours each way on a commute. And when I was commuting to New York all the time, I'd get back to O'Hare and I like trudging out to try and find my car in one of the remote lots and then shoveling it out. And like, so I paid my dues.
That's
I don't
right.
miss it.
Yeah.
And you haven't lived until you forgot to bring your scraper along. And you have to scrape everything off with your credit card.
Well, sometimes it works better anyway. So.
Ryan and I swapped cars sometime in the last couple of weeks. I can't remember why, but I had to scrape off his car, and I found out that his scraper, like if these are the prongs on the scraper, is missing like a lot of it. So I was like, why can't I get anything to come off? It's because there's this gigantic hole in the middle. So you kind of scrape like this.
Valentine's Day present.
Oh my gosh. I was like, how long have you been using this? And why have you, what? Yeah.
Well, I know he writes the frugal gourmet, not the frugal gourmet, the frugal.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
The
Frugal, right?
something.
It still functions. It's fine. Oh. Oh dear. Well, let's check in. Cynthia, how are you today?
I'm okay. I doesn't have to go on prayer list, obviously, but I ended up with a little bit of a blood vessel issue in my eye, hence why I have my glasses on. So nothing major. I did a couple of telehealth things with my doctor. They said it's probably just a one of those little broken blood vessel things that looks worse than it really is. But he said just wear the glasses for, till the end of the week or so. So I
Rest
got
your
my
eye.
different look. Yeah, so I've got my different look going on and everything. Don't remember doing anything to it at all. Just noticed Sunday evening, Graham's like, hey, your eye's looking a little red. And so, but that's just very, very minor. I would ask, he had been on the prayer list, and then I think we kind of took him off, or he might still be on there, but continued prayers for Graham's uncle Lee. I don't have a ton of details. He did end up falling, and I think he's at some sort of like an assisted or rehab facility. And he ended up, while he was there, contacting COVID. So in addition to kind of healing from a fall, now healing from that. And again, his name is Lee. So just continued prayers for Lee and for everybody with COVID. And then also kind of on that same thing is just prayers for some people that unfortunately are using COVID to kind of scam people. Just got an email, and I'm like, I don't think this is legitimate, because Graham and I this was like a month or two ago, had gotten COVID results, and it looked kind of official, but the link looked kind of suspicious of, hey, we have an update to your COVID results, and click on it. And I have a couple of friends that are like, hey, have you gotten these kind of things? So I would just say be careful if you see any sort of emails coming out there, and it is unfortunate that there are so many different scams of different sorts going around that I've either seen or heard about, and people are just getting taken advantage of.
Like people don't already have enough to deal with. You have to do that
Exactly.
too.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's one going around regarding people's property taxes as well, and getting copies of their records. I'm getting phone calls every other day at work with people that unfortunately some of them already paid way more than they should have to try to get copies. So just prayers for that.
Thanks, Cynthia. Uncle Lee, we spell Lee just L-E-E, right?
L-E-E, yes.
Okay, all right. And your glasses look fabulous. I love
Oh, thanks. They're actually a little bit old, but at least I can still see out of them. They might not be quite the exact prescription, but my prescription hasn't changed too much. I think in college. So.
I'm glad to know that that's not causing any real pain or discomfort, but annoying.
Not a whole lot. I mean, a little tiny bit, but I did, when I talked to him, he's like, unless it's excruciating and the eye really looks, I mean, to me, it kind of looks a little gross. So I'm kind of sitting back a little bit. But he said, unless it's any excruciating pain or anything. I said, how does it happen? And essentially just one of those things. He said, sometimes stress. And I'm like, well, there you go. So, but just one of those little things. But thank you.
Thank you. Barbara and Larry, how are the two of you in your 76-degree weather?
I have no complaints. We had a bit of a COVID scare with Larry's grandson over the weekend, who had it early on. He's like 21 now. He had it. He's in Texas. I need say no more. And he thought he had it again, but he didn't according to the test. He's just feeling crummy. So, but we were thankful and tried yet again to maybe help them see that there could be another way here than
Like vaccination.
Yeah.
That he gets an awful lot of pushback every day in his current environment. So that's an ongoing concern for us. But there's nothing we can do other than, gently try to say, you might want to consider another way of looking at it. And I don't know, anything else you'd like to?
No, that's good. Hi, Kyle. Good to see you.
But yeah, we're good. Just enjoying it while we're here, and We have some visitors coming in the next, like 10 days or so. And then after they leave, we're kind of getting really close to the end, which doesn't seem possible, but it always happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, glad you're enjoying it currently. That's wonderful.
Well, you guys can warm it up a little bit here this next month.
We'll work on it. Yeah.
We'll bring back what we can.
Thank you both. Kyle, how are you? We've been comparing temperatures in our respective states. What's it like by you right now?
It's cold.
Yeah.
I mean, like what? I think the high today was like in the 39 or so. So it's like somewhat warm, but still like, yeah, too cold.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do want snow, like on a weekday, so we have it like a snow day one of these days. But yeah.
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 Good. And how are you otherwise, Kyle?
I've been stressed out with a lot. Work is stressful. There's like a lot of teachers out with like sick or with COVID or something. I don't know, but it's definitely tough with like all these substitute teachers around, and it changes up everything. And this week on Thursday, my dad has an eye procedure.
Okay.
He's like getting an injection in his eye or something.
Macular degeneration.
Something related to the diabetes.
Okay.
And although I found out that dance concert that was canceled is rescheduled, so
That's great news.
yeah, later in April.
Okay.
Hopefully there can be some additional rehearsals before then in the text dates and stuff,
Yeah.
since we need that. Although at least it's been rescheduled.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. And what's your dad's first name, Kyle, so we can put him on the prayer list?
Tom.
Tom. All right. How's he feeling in the lead up to his injection on Thursday?
She's nervous about it.
Yeah. Okay.
The man that we rent our place from out here has shots in his eye like every 6 months because of macular degeneration, I think. And he wants to describe it to me, and I'm
Please do.
just wish him good luck, but I don't want to hear the gory details at all.
And it works very well for him. So maybe something positive for your father to look forward to, Kyle.
Yeah. I was thinking about you on Sunday, Kyle. I was talking to another educator who's a member of the church, and they were saying like they kind of don't make plans more than 2 days out, at least in the classroom anymore. Like that's, I think I can probably be there and not out for COVID or for a quarantine or, have too many kids gone in 2 days. But they said they're just kind of like they're not doing the week out and the month out lesson plans anymore outside of what they really have to do. So I can't imagine the stress that you guys are under right now. It's just nuts. It's nuts.
Feel like you're constantly treading water.
Yeah.
Like you can't actually make any progress. You don't want to sink, but you're just sort of constantly trying to keep it all afloat. That's hard.
So we all always thinking of you and pulling for you and all of our educators. It's a lot right now. Joe and Paul, who are normally with us, sent an email saying that they doubted they would make it. So looks right. But Joe wanted to let us know that her healing after surgery is going well. but she did manage to just kind of move the wrong way while she was walking a couple days ago. So she's in a lot of pain and has delayed some of her appointments, for physical therapy and things like that while she manages the pain. So it was an email, but the tone I would still say was a little bit frustrated and discouraged. So prayers for Jo as she, moves through that pain and tries to get back on track. She did want us to know that it says Paul's head is doing very well. So I expect that means the place where he had his stitches removed in his surgeries. But prayers for Jo and Paul, and we'll hope to see them next week. And from the wider church prayer list, Lorraine Anderson on Sunday shared that her brother Walt is hospitalized as of Sunday with COVID-19 and pneumonia. So we're praying for Walt. Colleen Shore was watching online on Sunday, and in the midst of the 9:00 service wrote in the Facebook comments that her friend Bernadette had just been rushed to the hospital. So we're praying for Bernadette. And Donna Ingram has shared that Judy McKinley, I don't know Judy's relation to Donna, I haven't been able to connect with her, is in hospice care in West Chicago. So prayers for Donna and for Judy. And my prayer that I brought to us today, if you watched or attended in person worship on Sunday, you will have heard this already. It's the prayer that Jim and Karen Trotter offered. It's kind of the close to the sermon. It's not mine. It was borrowed in a combination from someone who writes some liturgies that we borrow at the church pretty often, the Reverend Sarah R., and combined with some other liturgies for healing. But I just love it. I love it. And I think it's so beautiful. And whether we're talking physical or spiritual or emotional healing, I feel like we're all in that kind of open and tender place right now. We're all exhausted and a little bit oof, even if we're mostly okay. So I thought that I would offer this one again because it's just so lovely and seems so appropriate for our time. So this has no title because it's a couple things mashed together, but those are the places I got it from. Let's pray. Oh God, the whole of me, the whole person, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, is in need of being healed and being made whole. The curing of physical symptoms is but one part of this process, and the absence of a cure need not hinder it. My own healing is bound up with that of others, so I also need to pray and work for the healing of the nations, for food, for the hungry, for justice for the downtrodden, for my neighbors in a global village, because without their well-being, I cannot be completely well. So hear me, hear us as we pray. For the bereaved and sorrowful, for the widows, widowers, and orphans, for the lonely and unloved, for women in labor, for those facing infertility, for suffering children, for the naked and the hungry, for those who face danger, for the anxious and uncertain, for those whose bodies are broken, tired, aged, ailing, or weak, for the sleepless and fevered, for the injured and wounded, for those in great pain, for those weary with suffering, for the bedridden and housebound, for those sick unto death, for the ministries of healing, for doctors and nurses, for pastors and ministers of all kind, hear us pray. And as we find ourselves in need of healing, help us hear you when you say, do not fear. Do not fear. Do not fear. For I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you wade through the rivers, I will be with you. When you walk through fire, I will be with you. They will not drown you. They will not burn you. I will be with you. You are mine. So do not fear. You are precious in my sight, honored and precious, and I love you. Do not remember the former things, for I am about to do a new thing. There will be a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. I am doing a new thing. I am doing a new thing. Oh God, help us to always hear those words of yours. I am with you. I have called you by name. I love you. You are mine. Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, all. Take good care of yourselves this week. Heart
Nice.
Kyle.
Same to you.
Quick business note.
Yes,
What are the office hours at the church now?
9 to noon most consistently.
Okay, 5
Mhm.
days or 4?
Uh, 4.
Monday through Thursday?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, of course. Can I tell you, okay, before we go, can I tell you one really fun thing about this prayer? So, like I said, when Karen and Jim Trotter delivered this on Sunday, they did it really beautifully, but and I hope she's okay with me sharing this. Karen said that she was so nervous both services because it says on here that we're praying for the housebound, and she was afraid that she was going to say housebroken and that would cause giggles. If you talk to Karen, tell her she did so well and said it just right. But I just love thinking of her, being very worried about that.
I need the
It's
prayer
okay
too.
if she said that too. We love our animals. That's cute.
All right, friends. I will see you next week, if not before, and have a really good week in between.
And the same to you all.
Thank you, Emily.
Bye, everybody.
Nice to see you all. Stay